Put on your pajamas. Tune into Chamily drama.
Before we start, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are occupying land in Peterborough, Nogojinawong on the Treaty 20 territory and traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. This land is associated with the Williams Treaty. We offer our gratitude to the First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings. Hi everyone, this is your Champlain College ambassadors, Chloe
and Chloe,
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojinawong, Canada.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Chamily Drama, season 4. This week, we're going to be talking about Thrive Week and mental health resources on campus.
So first, a little bit about Thrive Week. Thrive Week will be taking place from October 17th to the 23rd this year. It includes a full week of events to help explore your mental health journey and on-campus supports at Trent. Events hosted during Thrive Week focus on prioritizing wellness and building healthy habits and self-care skills. This is a time for the Trent community to learn about and explore the ways to support our mental health and to reduce the stigma, and to also provide students, faculty, staff with resources and positive coping skills.
Next, coming up in our announcements, like we mentioned last week, we have Chilioki that's being hosted by our cabinet this Thursday, October 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. And now we know Chilioki will be taking place in the Chamily again this year, which is super exciting. So you can reserve your spot by purchasing your $5 ticket ahead of time through the link in the Champlain College Cabinet Instagram bio, or there's also going to be tickets available at the door if there's still room. So if you didn't know, Chilioki is a combination of chili and karaoke. So you can eat lots of delicious chili, breadsticks, and also sing some karaoke with your friends. However, this event is also going to be in combination with our Halloween karaoke event. So come in costume, there's going to be a little Halloween costume contest. And because it's being hosted at the Chamily, those who are of age do have the option to purchase some drinks.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun, so make sure you warm up your vocal cords and bring your empty stomachs, and we'll see you there. Alright, so today we will be interviewing the TCSA and Active Minds to learn about the different initiatives that Trent offers to assist students with mental health. First, we're going to be hearing from Zoe to discover about the TCSA and how they can help students.
All right. Hi, Zoe. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And would you like to give a little introduction to the audience?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Zoe. I am the president of the Trent Central Student Association. I've been involved with the TCSA now for 5 years. I'm a recent graduate, so I did 5 years of a sociology degree. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Looking to start applying to my master's, so keeping busy.
Awesome. That's really cool.
And so as president of the TCSA, what are your roles and duties?
Yeah, so my former president, Wendy, used to say, as president, you have your hands in a lot of buckets, and that's kind of how I like to view the role. Pretty much anything that happens within the association kind of comes by my desk. I'm always answering questions, working on the budget, working on the staffing plan, managing our brand ambassador teams, working with the board of directors, speaking to the media, talking with lawyers if we ever have to do that. Pretty much anything and everything that the association does comes past my desk and gets a little stamp of approval or disapproval or feedback. So very busy job.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about the Trent Student Benefits Program?
Yeah, so Student VIP is your health insurance. It costs $309.48. I believe it is one of the most useful things you will have in your undergrad here as a student. You get health insurance, and a lot of folks who don't have health insurance through their parents, it's a super great opportunity. If you have health insurance with your parents, you can also stay opted in and then get double the coverage. For example, I will use my student insurance for my glasses, and then I'll charge my stepdad's insurance. So I get like $600 in glasses coverage instead of $300. So it's super useful. It's great because if you go use anything at Trent Health in Motion, if you're doing chiro, massage, physio, they will just charge your benefits automatically. super convenient. There's lots of dentists and other kind of practitioners around the city who are also partnered with us and are kind of like student approved. So they have a list on their website that you can check it out there. Yeah, it's super convenient. You submit all your claims via an app. You get great coverage. Yeah, also if you're opted into our benefits, you can access what's called the Emergency Health and Dental Fund. So let's say you're getting your wisdom teeth out and your dentist is only going to cover like $800. You can apply to our health and dental fund and get up to 80% covered, up to $3,000 a year. So a lot of times when we see students who like need extensive dental work, or maybe you need more therapy than what's covered in the benefits plan, you can submit those receipts to us and we'll reimburse you some of the money so that you're not out of pocket.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
And so what is the International Student Identity Card and what's it for?
Yeah, so that's called the ISIC card, and it's offered through the Canadian Federation of Students. It's basically just an ID card that is recognized internationally that identifies you as a student somewhere in the world, and that way you can get discounts. So you can show it at Presto and you get a Presto discount. You can also show your regular Trent student card, but often if you're traveling abroad or you just want to like backpack in the summer or travel and you still want to get like good discounts, if you have an ISIC card, it'll be internationally recognized.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I know that the Freedom Lounge is a fairly new space in the Student Center that the TCSA is organizing. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and why it's important for this space to exist?
Yeah, so the Freedom Lounge was a space that we created last year. We saw that the former clubs and groups space was very underutilized. It was mainly just used as like a study spot for students. So what we decided to do was put a vote to the clubs, groups, and levies if they would agree to reallocate and repurpose the space, and they did. So we were able to turn that old space on the second floor of the Student Center to the Freedom Lounge, which is our lounge for BIPOC and racialized students. It's really for anybody as well, like anybody with any identity can go in there. We just ask that folks be mindful of the space that they do take up in regards to their identity within that space. And it's a super important space to have on campus because a lot of our racialized population doesn't feel safe in other places. Peterborough isn't always the nicest city. In 2020, we had the highest hate crime rate per capita in all of Canada. So that's like super scary when you're coming into this community, as a first or second year, or even if you're in third or fourth year and you're a racialized person and you realize that like the world really isn't designed for me to navigate it smoothly or feel safe. So this lounge really is like kind of a safe haven place where people can come, they can hang out with their friends, they can really like celebrate their identity, like celebrate your Blackness or celebrate that you are Indigenous within this space. We also have a multi-faith room in there. So students will come and they'll use it to pray, which is super convenient because depending on where you're coming from campus, you can't always get to LEC to use the multi-faith space. So we really kind of turned it into this kind of multi-purpose space for BIPOC and racialized students on campus. And again, like I said, anybody can go in there and hang out with their friends, but we just ask that folks are mindful of their identities and what space they do take up. We also host events in there that are for everybody, so we'll host like conversations about microaggressions, and that's for everybody to attend and like have conversations about things and learn and grow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great space.
Yes.
So I also know that many students experience economic challenges, especially with the rising cost of living here in Peterborough. So does the TCSA provide any services that could help students with these situations?
Yeah, we have lots of funding lines. So I already talked a little bit about the health and dental funding line, which is great for things like therapy or, your chiro, physio, massage that goes over the benefits, what they give you in a year. We also have what's called SURF, which is our Student Emergency Relief Fund. A lot of students will apply to this if they're facing an emergency challenge. So let's say like, hey, this really awful thing has happened. My kitchen is set on fire and now I have to fix it and I have to pay XYZ money. Students who find themselves in those emergency situations can apply to this line and we'll kind of provide them with a micro bursary. So you can get up to $600 a semester through that bursary, depending on what's kind of going on. We do ask that students provide like a copy of their lease or relevant bills. So if you're like, I had COVID and I had to take 2 weeks off of work, and now I found myself in this situation where I don't have enough money to pay my rent and my bills. We asked that, like, you give us your lease and you give us your bill, so the committee can kind of decide what's the best financial support we can provide you. We also have supported a lot of students who have had issues because, like, we know Peterborough has a housing crisis. There was a lot of students who moved to Peterborough and were kind of automatically homeless because they didn't have a place to live. And through our co-op levy fund that we adopted last year, we were able to support a couple other students with a higher amount of support. So, paying $750 for their first month's rent so they could actually have a place to live. So we do provide lots of help with that. We also do our food pantry and our grocery assistance. So the food pantry is new this year. It's been highly utilized, which is great, but also scary to think that many students are facing food insecurity. We have a lot of international, a lot of domestic, as well as a lot of families, parents that are students that come in with their children who are looking for support. And the pantry is located in our office. It's no judgment. You can come in anytime our office is open, grab a couple grocery bags, fill up. We have 3 pantries, a fridge and a freezer full of food. It's pretty much restocked weekly. We have lots of fresh produce. We also have produce that adheres to dietary needs, so gluten-free, halal, kosher, vegan, vegetarian, and make sure that we have a wide range so we can service everybody. So that's a super good thing that students can access.
And the last question is, what is one thing you think all students should know about the TCSA?
Yeah, I want all students to know that the TCSA isn't just the people that work in the office. Everybody's a member of the association if you're an undergraduate student. So even though you may not feel like it, your voice really does matter. We take every single student suggestion or student who comes into the office wanting to talk to us, very seriously. We love talking with folks. We love suggestions. We really are an open and revolving door to anybody and anything they want to talk about. So yeah, I just want students to know about that. And if they like what the TCSA does, or they're more interested, or they're interested in things that we're doing, they can come talk to us, or they can even run in our elections that will come up in the spring and get involved with us, or look at our employment when we hire in the spring. That's a great stepping stone to getting to know the association and kind of dipping your toes into student leadership.
Awesome.
That's really great. Well,
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being with us.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a lot of great information that you
Yeah.
shared.
Hi, everyone. Once again, this is your Champlain College Ambassadors, Chloe,
And Chloe.
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojinawong, Canada. Awesome. Now we will be interviewing active minds to discover more about what they bring to Trent and how they can support you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here with us. Would you like to give us a little bit of an introduction?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Amy Lynn. You could just call me Amy. That's cool. I'm in my 5th year in psychology, a Bachelor of Science. I'm also in the medical professional stream. And last but not least, I'm also the president of Trent Active Minds, and I have been for the last 2 years. In total, I've been on the team for about 3.5 years.
Awesome. Cool. And can you tell us a little bit about Active Minds and what they do?
Yeah, of course. So Active Minds is actually part of a larger nonprofit organization based out in the United States. It was founded in, I believe, 2003 by the founder, Allison Mallman. And it was founded actually in response to the loss of her brother by suicide. So her whole kind of point, whole kind of idea when creating Active Minds was to help change the conversation about mental health and make it so that it's something that's just as easily talked about as physical health. So that was, so many years ago, and now there are over 600 chapters worldwide, and those chapters are in universities, colleges, workplaces, high schools, all of that kind of stuff. And I believe in Canada, we're one of 12 chapters, so that's pretty exciting. In terms of Trent Active Minds, our chapter was actually founded by former MP Mariam Monsef. So that's a pretty fun fact as well. And a little bit more about Trent Active Minds. Yeah, our whole mission is to change the conversation about mental health. As I said earlier, we're a student run and we're a levy group also on campus. So we do receive funding from full-time undergraduate students to put on educational and non-educational programming around campus.
Awesome. And can students get involved with Active Minds team? And if so, how can they?
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, it's completely student run. We actually just finished our fall elections for our executive positions. However, we will be hiring for the 2023-24 executive team in February. Apart from that, students can also register as an active general member, and those individuals are basically people who want to be a part of Active Minds, want to kind of have a voice and a say in, what kind of goes on without having that much responsibility that an executive member would have. An executive would typically dedicate about 5 to 10 hours a week, all depending. Whereas an active general member, a minimum would just be about 1 hour a week. And that would mainly just be attending our weekly executive meetings, which they can do so weekly if they so desire. However, they are only required to attend one per semester. And in terms of events, they're also only required to attend one event per semester, but more is definitely welcome. So yeah, that's a way that students can get involved. And we're also trying to start up a newsletter, and we do have a sign-up sheet on our Linktree right now. So students can go ahead and register there. And that is also where students will register to be an active general member.
Awesome. That's really great.
Thank you.
And could you tell us a little bit about the kinds of events that Active Minds hosts?
Of course. So most of our events obviously do fall into the category of mental health and wellness. We do host some that are more educational, so these could be workshops, training opportunities. For instance, this reading week, we will be hosting a free psychological first aid training session for 20 students who pre-registered. So really looking forward to that. That's really exciting. It's also really exciting to host it for students when, it's something that's kind of more on the pricier side, and it's nice to offer it to students free of cost and, just so that they don't have to worry about that. So that's kind of an example of some things that we'll do. Another kind of educational event would be like our mental health panel that we hold annually in March. So that's another thing, but we also hold non-academic, more kind of stress relief events as well. Notably, one event that we do coming up is actually this Friday, and it's there in honor of World Mental Health Day. So we'll be fundraising on behalf of the World Federation for Mental Health, and we'll also just have some fun little things like a free caricature artist, some donuts, popcorn, cotton candy, that kind of stuff, just to try to get students, to take a break from, stressing for a little bit and just so that they can have some fun and everything.
Awesome. And is Active Minds involved in Thrive Week, and how so?
Yeah, of course. So for Thrive Week, I believe we haven't solidified a date quite yet, but we are looking at hosting a kind of part 2 to an earlier event that we held this year. It's called the Kindness Rocks Project, and this is essentially just rock painting. You paint a rock and you write some kind of positive affirmation, where you'll then put them in a little spot on campus. We haven't quite decided where, maybe in the library, it might be at one of the colleges, just so that people can go there and see kind of the positive message. So that's one thing that we do plan on having during Thrive Week. Again, the date is to be determined. Not exactly during Thrive Week, but during that whole time, we'll also be doing some November events. So that's also another thing to kind of look out for.
Cool. That sounds like a really nice event.
Thank you.
And what is a mental health resource that Active Mind offers that all students should know about?
Probably most importantly, one thing that we have is a mental health resource guide where we've compiled a bunch of resources that kind of work throughout Canada, throughout the province, and even Peterborough and Trent. Just compiled that so students can check it out, read up on them a little bit, and have their contact information. So I would say that those are some of the most important ones that we have.
All right, that's really great. Thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing that really great information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, so that was some great information. Thank you so much to Zoe from the TCSA and Amy from Active Minds for giving us some information on those services and helping us learn. Thank you so much.
Now just a few more reminders of events coming up. We have Chilioki this Thursday, October 19th. Make sure to buy your tickets in the Cabinet Instagram to secure your spot.
Once again, Reading Week is next week, October 24th to 28th. Rest up, catch up on some work, and make sure you listen to this radio show for a very special Halloween episode.
You don't want to miss it. It's going to be one of our favorites.
Thank you for listening. This has been your Champlain College ambassadors, Chloe
And Chloe.
and you are listening to Chamily Drama, broadcasting through the facilities of CFFF Trent Radio at 92.7 FM in Peterborough, Nogojinawang, Canada.
Amazing.
Perfect.
I'm going to stop that recording.